Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing a few tips on how to parent young adults. Alright, so a lot of this is going to be based on what you did when they were younger, and how your relationship was when they were younger and as they grew up and got into their teen years. So this will shift a little depending on what your dynamic is already with your young adult children. As I mentioned in my introduction video, my very first video, if you want to go back and check that out, we have two young adult children. We have a son who lives in Chicago on his own, and then we have a daughter who is in college in Tennessee. So they both live out of state and away from us. Of course, we're always gone anyways with our travels. So it's always an interesting dynamic with our kids and with our communication, but it's great. We have a great relationship with them, and it's really just kind of a lot of fun to watch them just soar and do their thing and do some unique things that are different from what we've done with our lives. So let's kind of jump in and talk about when you're parenting, when you're kind of in the throes of parenting, you gotta be thinking about how you're parenting or what you're parenting them towards. Like, are you parenting them towards independence and living independent from you and being independent from you? Not that they don't talk to you and they don't need you at all, but you want them to be able to make decisions on their own without having to have input for every single decision as you would have if they were a child or younger or still at home with you. The next thing is kind of parenting towards balancing freedom and responsibility. So you want them, as they're growing, parent them into being responsible for themselves, for their actions, for everything, whether it's good or bad. But then you also want them to kind of be, feel free as well, to feel that sense of freedom and not feel so kind of held on. Although my kids will probably say that we were a little bit strict and stringent with them, but that's kind of the tone that you set is when they're in their younger years. And then you can use that to your advantage as they get a little bit older and they become young adults. You're still parenting them and helping them until they're full-grown adults. And gosh, some of us still go to our parents, right, and ask for opinions on different things. So parenting never really ends, in case you're thinking that that's the case. It's not. It just changes the dynamic. The next thing is, as you're parenting, are you parenting out of fear or are you parenting out of love? Are you parenting you're parenting because you're scared? Gosh, I don't want my kid to be, a criminal and end up in prison, or to be a horrible person, or to not contribute to society. You need to be more thinking of parenting in love and just showing them what that is and what that dynamic is and what that relationship is, not just with you and your family, but with others. And you do that with the example that you set for your kids, with your interactions and the way they see you interact with others and the way they hear you speak to others and about others. So that's really important as you're parenting, to not be parenting in fear, but to be parenting in love. The next thing is more providing guidance rather than enabling them to do different things. So just kind of think to yourself, am I guiding them or am I enabling them? And there's a pretty stark difference between the two things. And if you sit back and you're objective about it, you'll notice the difference. And you'll say to yourself, okay, I'm enabling, or I'm really helping my child here and just really guiding them. All right. And then the next thing is that you want to have always an open, ongoing dialogue. You don't want to just kind of, break things off. Have something that you've always got kind of ongoing between you and your young adult child. Next thing is to, and this can be hard sometimes, is to embrace that they're unique entities that are separate from you. It's hard to think, hey, I made this child. This child, spent time inside inside my womb, or if you've adopted this child, you have invested hours in building that relationship with your child. And it's hard to think this is a separate, like he or she, they're going to have their own opinions about religion, about politics, about everything really. And you want to not inhibit that, and you don't want to force your opinion on them and what you want. You guide them and you give them the information, but at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, they're going to make that decision for themselves. So don't try to hold them back, because that's just going to make it a lot harder and tougher, on your relationship with your young adult child. Next is to respect their opinions. And you don't really have to agree with them to communicate respect with them, but you do have to be open and listen to them and let them know that you are listening to them, and don't make them feel like you're judging them because they think differently from you. Our kids have plenty of different opinions than what we have, and different thoughts, like I said, about anything from religion to politics, and each of them is different. Like I said, they're separate entities from you now. They're not physically a part of you, and you can do what you want to try to influence that, but you can't force it on them. So respect their opinions, communicate that respect to them, and that's really going to make a huge difference in your relationship. The next thing, and boy is this a tough one to kind of bite your tongue, but do not offer your opinion or your instruction unless it's been requested of you. I have plenty of opinions and thoughts about what this child should do or this child should do, but that's not my life. And unless it's their life that's in danger, or there's some sort of immediate danger to them, you're not to intervene, because this is their life and their decisions to make. It's really tough to do, to not want to just jump in there and say, hey, here's what you should do, or hey, you need to do this and this because this is going to happen, and I'm seeing ahead and I see what's going to happen. And it's like, whoa, you have to take a step back and take some deep breaths and realize that, again, this is their life. They make the decisions, and you want to keep that respect going between you, and you want to communicate that respect to them. So don't feel like you're going to take over and just give them the instruction, even though they haven't asked you for your opinion or your instruction. And then the next thing is, they're really more likely to seek you out if you kind of sit back and just be there for them and let them know, I'm here. If you need me, I'm here. And a lot of that has to do with the way that you communicate with them, and intonation and attitude. Let them know, hey, I'm here for you. I'm not judging you. I'm willing to listen, and I'm open, and I will help you make the best decision if you come to me. So that's the next one. And then the last thing is that you can still be very influential in their life, even though they are a young adult and they have made decisions on their own. You just like when they were younger, it's even more important now to continue to pray for them. If this is something that you've done from when they were younger, continue to pray for them as they get older, and just really pour that out for them and continue to provide that support in that fashion over them. And it's okay. You can tell them, you don't have to tell them. It's totally up to you. It depends on your relationship with them and their relationship with religion. But at the end of the day, if it's something that you want to do for your child, then nothing is stopping you from praying for your children if that is something that you want to do. Because really, young adult life, if you think back when you were a young adult and all the decisions that you had to make, just think about that and think about how difficult that was, and put yourself back in their shoes. Think about when you were that age, and that's really going to help to kind of change that attitude and change that thought process in you. So guys, I hope this video really helped you out. I hope you can get some tips. If you've got some tips for me or some things that work out really well for you in parenting your young adult, leave those comments below for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you sign up for that notification bell so that you know when I post a new video, and share this video to your friends, if it's something that you think it will help them out in this stage of life. And again, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on our next video.